Tennis. I hope you are ready. It is great to see you all here. A very warm welcome to you all on behalf of the Professional Triathletes Organisation, the PTO, as this wonderful venue once again plays host, this time to the 2022 Collins Cup. We have got a stellar cast who have been selected to represent the teams from the US, from Europe, and the internationals, and they will do battle over a series of 12 races to see who rules the sport of triathlon.
Triathlon, at this moment in time, stands atop the podium. You men and women have been blessed with your talent, which you have worked diligently to perfect. I ask you all to continue the great tradition of being outstanding role models in the sport of triathlon. You have no idea yet where your podium will take you. You will have to stand strong as a group to keep what is rightfully yours. You are all role models and will be humbled in the years to come. And I thank all those who have put you in this magnificent space.
The time for talking is almost done. It is nearly over to the action. We will find out this Saturday, the 20th of August, who will be crowned the Collins Cup champion for 2022.
Yeah, there's no question when you get here, you feel like this is championship mode. The athletes on those Collins Cup teams all starting to kind of get their game face on now as we get closer to the event. There's pressure there. These guys are proud and they know that, look, everyone's gunning for them. You can see occasionally the pressure just getting to them is never a good thing, and you can see it when some athletes just go over the top. The Collins Cup is the pinnacle of the season.
It's going to be a lonely effort for me, and I'd still give them a run for their money. I'm pretty confident about that. At this time, I generally feel prepared for the race.
Both of them, I could be chasing or being chased.
Maybe I'll see her a couple of times on the run.
Let's talk tactics.
What this guy just said that he could beat us if there wasn't a swim is absolutely the farthest thing from the truth.
I think skip the swim out of St. George.
Skip the thing about St. George.
No, skip the swim out of St. George. That's the only time we raced.
Yeah, I was hit by a car 9 days before.
Okay, sorry.
But yeah, maybe you'll make fun of me for getting hit by a car too. That would be very much in your character.
Saturday will be fun, but I mean, it's not really fun. We all want to win, so.
Well, of course, like I feel I have the pressure on, and he's coming here without any pressure, like what you do when you're coming from short distance over to long.
Because I'm the best prepared. Just say I'm fully tapered into this one, so I'll give it all.
He's gonna need it.
He's been keying. That's why I had to sit in the middle, otherwise things would get tense.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like I'm the least confident of the team, so.
As soon as gun go, let us like switch off, and it's just. Yeah, try and get to that line first.
Oh, I haven't won nothing compared to you two guys.
Yeah, you have won
and I'm still going to be
70.3.
And I'm still going to be you. I've won nothing. I've won a 0, 70, no 70.3s, no Ironmans.
Yeah.
And nobody's going to beat you.
I think this is something I'm very used to, so maybe this can play into my cards. Maybe I will run out of real estate at the end, but who knows? Like, I also like to push myself.
There's a degree of respect that should come in the sport.
I think you take it too seriously.
Too seriously?
Yeah, I have a lot of respect for athletes, and I just think you take the sport a bit too seriously, yeah.
Perhaps you should show that respect to other athletes.
Okay, Sam.
All right, here we go. We'll settle it on the race. We got some beef. We got beef up in here. Yeah. Woo! And I'll get to be right in the middle of it. I'm scared of him, I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah, I'm generally pissed off, and I'm not normally pissed off in the sport of triathlon, and I'm pretty sure this guy's gonna be getting cramps and making excuses out there afterwards.
I think we got what we came for.
Yes, yes you did.
Thank you guys, we'll see you later.
Well, you get this way.
Collins Cup returns. The biggest team event in triathlon is back once again.
These are the best professionals in the world. Once that gun goes off, it is all business.
It's time for the talking to stop and the action to begin. The 2022 Collins Cup is about to get underway. Well, this is it. 3 into 1 does not go, but who will stand tallest at the end of the day and who will lift the Collins Cup in 2022?
The reigning Olympic champion and world champion. I think it would be kind of cool to battle against her.
After last year especially, I want to perform well.
Once the gun goes off, you can change into a completely different person. I want to win. I'm here to win. I welcome anyone.
We are favorites because we have a title to defend.
Don't be defeated before the gun even goes off. Race like someone's gonna catch you, give 110%.
Is the start of something bigger than just ourselves as professional athletes in the sport.
Team Europe has become even stronger than what we were last year.
We're all coming in hungry, and we have absolutely nothing to lose here.
What we've been putting on the line and what we've sacrificed to get to this level.
Strategically, I do believe we can actually win.
When race day comes, I will be ready mentally.
I'm feeling confident, that Team International feeling confident, pushing until the finish and giving it your all on the day.
Yeah, I'm really honored to get the chance to race here.
Duffy has taken off.
They're much closer than I would have anticipated.
She understands the importance of a fast start.
The first of the Collins Cup athletes, Flora Duffy, hit short. That is Daniela Reef, who's not far behind. Another yellow cap for Team International, looking over her shoulder with a large gap back to Chelsea Sodaro and Laura Phillip.
This is Paula Finlay here, just about to come out of the water. So has managed to put a little bit of a gap. Definitely not very sizable and not definitive at this point. Daniela's gone straight to the front. The two of them last year at this event swam shoulder to shoulder. Are we going to see a complete rematch of that? So fantastic start for Team International, and they are right together still.
Brazilian Vitória Lopes out of the water.
Nicola Spirig storming to the front in match 4.
This is the box office one. The men's matches are starting in match 7. Olympic champion, Ironman world champion, Olympic bronze medalist, and Ben Canute all going head to head here. Ben Canute is going out pretty strongly here.
And we have seen the first pass of the day. Daniela looking like Daniela of old and just laying it down.
And yes, he has caused a rather large ruckus this week.
He's excited to prove a point after what's been said.
Sam Laidlow doesn't need any wetsuit. That guy is flying on top of the water.
It's going to be a very, very large lead for Sam Laidlow out of the water.
She's now 2:15 ahead. And they're getting out so quickly here, really fighting for every inch in the water.
This looks like an overtake by the international team right there.
We need to start making this time back up on Sam Laidlow, and that's exactly what they're doing. Sam Long said several times, you know, what? I hope you cramp.
The whole Collins Cup might just come down to these athletes.
So expect them to be close. Doesn't want to see any other athlete all day long.
When Daniela Reef is on her A game, that is going to probably be the fastest bike of the day.
So they are closing that down with every kilometre. Ashley Gentle overtaking Laura Phillip there. Well, Paula Finlay then, again, having a great run. Nicola Spirig at the moment in that driving seat.
The Europeans have moved into a sizable lead. Lionel Sanders now, for the first time today, has moved in the lead. Magnus having an unbelievable ride.
As we can see, poor Sam Laidlow has Stockton is struggling. You can see Sam Laidlow headlong. He looks very, very dejected right now. Is this sweet justice for Sam Long? Because, I mean, Sam Long said, I hope you cramp. Wow, I really did not expect this to happen.
And she will have an incredible victory for Europe here as Daniela Ryf claims maximal points.
Yeah, at the moment, Team US are struggling for race victory.
It's Ashley Gentle takes a win in wave number 2. Paula Findlay is going to claim victory and maximal points. The international team going into the lead.
And Nicola Spirig is going to take this one in match 4. Holly Lawrence, job done for Team Europe. Team Europe are doing the job at the moment, 52.5 points. He is in full flight now, Christian Blumenfeld. And look, he's lapping up this crowd. Lionel Sanders puts his foot down.
And look, he has left Sam Long in his wake.
He has done it back-to-back victories here.
Dominating performance by the 24-year-old as Team Europe continues to pile up the wins.
Aaron's winning his matchup for Team International.
Second time victory now for Europe as the man who has not lost, I think, a PTO race, Gustav Iden, will claim victory here for the European team.
As we can see, poor Sam Laidlow has stopped and is struggling through that aid station there. You're out there with your own thoughts. When we see this pass, I don't think they'll do anything. I think the boys will just run straight ahead. But you can see Sam Laidlow headlong. He looks very, very dejected right now.
It was really tough post-Collins Cup with my family. They came to the Collins Cup actually, which made it even worse. But seeing them down was obviously the hardest thing for me. I think I lost a lot of energy there. Yeah, I put myself in a dark place. Maybe I came across a bit like confident and arrogant. You don't have to be arrogant, and maybe I'm learning that. My parents moved to France, and so, well, first of all, I didn't speak the language. The first year was really, really difficult. We had some quite big family issues, which then led on to financial issues, and we had to start from scratch, and that's why it was, I mean, for the first 15 years here, we were just like, we were renting a property that we were like renting out, so we didn't even own a house. It was tough. Admittedly, like I saw them struggle financially when we moved here, but yeah, I think I really feel that they did it for their kids more than anything else. I'm extremely grateful for that. I couldn't really ask for anything else. Well, I always wanted a brother. My parents waited until I was 10 to have a second child. So I certainly learned from him. He's naturally very confident. I think I stole some of his confidence. It's more the younger brothers who look up at the bigger ones, but he certainly helped me shape who I am today, and he's a massive inspiration for me. He was a big reason why I moved back home when I was 19. So as I said, I was pretty driven. I knew what I wanted in the sport. So when I was 13, I decided to move away from home and go to boarding school to do triathlon.
Christmas present to Sam from his little brother.
Both my parents and my brother, we're real force, I think, together to just be good. I guess from a very early age, I've always been quite driven and known what I wanted. I had a dream very early on, which was to be the best in the sport, and I did my first triathlon when I was 4 years old, which is probably the youngest ever. I've already achieved a lot more than what some people would have thought is possible. I've been in the sport like probably longer than any other 23-year-old, but I do feel like I've always been on the cusp of achieving something, and that's it's a difficult position because you don't have necessarily like the results to back it up or stuff, but I think we've always had, both my family and I, that little bit of hope, and that hope comes mainly from me.
Je pense que c'est l'inverse. Le robustin, on le trouve partout. Dans celui-là, franchement, il est. Si vous aimez le côté fruité, floral.
People see this dream lifestyle that we have, but we've worked our arse off to get here, and we've even along the way, like, we've managed to stick together, and yeah, I think that's unique. I think most people struggle to accept and work with their family members, mainly because you don't choose them. But it's even more special if you do work through that. Welcome to my crib. It's actually not my crib at all. People have won the world champs, or I don't know, won big races, but few have done it, or if any, being coached by their dad.
One's Belgium to England, which is a world record, and then England, France, England, but that's as a relay.
The main reason for me asking him to coach me was that I felt like that was the only thing really that could differentiate me from anybody else.
Generally, when he's away on camp, it's either him or his dad, isn't it, cooking for everybody?
My family, my side of the family, has always been relatively sporty. So my dad was my coach as well for a long time when I was swimming.
Yeah, that's right.
If there's too much cabbage on the side, it's not my fault.
It's for visual impact.
And so I then decided then I wanted to go away. I think when I was away, I realised then what a good coach my dad actually was, and how he supported and how he researched and did everything else, and what sort of the training methodologies he used.
I haven't washed my hands. I better go wash my hands first.
Do pass me yours now. Bon appetit.
I don't think my dad's the best coach in the world, but I definitely think he's the best coach for me, and that's all that counts. The relationship we have has only brought us together, and at the end of the day, when I hit a low like I did after the Collins Cup, well, I know that I can count on them and that they'll still love me and believe in me just as much as they did after a win. We're going to ketchup. Don't be stupid.
What's that?
It wants ketchup. Having the Laidlow name sort of thing means it's a big tie, because if that wasn't there, it's a whole sort of team, it's a whole network together.
Could you put a bit of bread, please?
I want our family name to be remembered in the sport, and I guess that's why I have a certain pride in wearing a Laidlow t-shirt. The laid lows were the ones that would go to prison, who'd get laid low. So maybe that comes back to not following rules. We're a family who will make our own path. When I finished my career, I wanted to have had a bigger impact than the sport itself. hard work and dedication and just believing in it, you can definitely make it. I'm a guy who dreams a day and not a night.
Judgment, 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 judgment day is rolling around.
I feel like I have an ability to make my dreams become a reality. Whatever you want, it's in your grasp and you can achieve it. So my hopes are to be the best in the world. Just hope I can do it on as big a scale as possible. I want to be the best.
It's really tough to be the #1 ranked athlete because the only way really is down. Like if you can't defend that, you're only going to go down. I feel like it's definitely a tough position to be in, and trying to stay up there is going to be harder than getting there.
Right then, should we get this show on the road? Let's get this any hotter.
It's going to be hot. We're currently based out in Club de Santa in Lanzarote, which is pretty much my second home, to be honest. I spend almost half the year here and then half the year in the UK back in my other home. So I've been coming to train in Lanzarote since around kind of 2014 when I was training for my first ever triathlon, when I made the switch from swimming to triathlon, and just training here made me so strong. Like the conditions here are absolutely brutal. You've got the heat, you've got the wind, you've got hills. It just makes you a tough athlete, and I think it's allowed me to race anywhere in the world and just cope with whatever conditions are thrown at me. Oh yeah.
Bring your bike in.
Oh, thank you.
There's a valet parking for you.
So the beginning of this year, I was out training here in Club de Santa in Lanzarote. I just remember one session where I'd pushed it quite hard and I was absolutely buzzing. I was like, I'm already getting in great shape and it's quite early in the year. And then I think it was that evening I was like, I can feel a bit of a pain in my hip.
Oh, good.
Yeah, break my hip and fix it again. So.
I've seen the video.
Yeah.
Seen the video. Okay, do you want to come through?
Yeah, sure. Mentally, I was struggling then because I was like, are there going to be big doubts on the year ahead? There's big question marks now in my mind, and I really just wanted to go and find out what we was dealing with. So that was probably when I was struggling the most and was probably having the tears and the tantrums, because I was like, I knew in myself that this was going to be quite bad even before we went and got a scan.
So I saw Reece belting past the other morning.
Yeah. He's mainly focusing on running at the moment. He's going to do a half marathon when we get home. So
Lucy had an absolutely phenomenal season last year, and then this year has been nothing short of an emotional roller coaster, really. She was diagnosed with a stress fracture in the femoral head, which is basically the top of the femur. It meant that she was sidelined from World Championship races, all of the PTO races, the Sub-8 project. We was told that it could potentially be a career-ending injury if she didn't rehabilitate it properly. So once you hear that sort of information from a consultant, you take things pretty seriously.
At the end of 2021, I was probably at the highest point in my career. I'd just won my first ever world title. I'd gone PTO ranked #1. I was kind of just flying high, really. Pretty much done every single format of triathlon. I'd gone and raced it, I'd loved it. I just kind of felt like on top of the world, like, give me anything and I'll be able to do it. And then to be told that actually, if I don't deal with this injury in the right way, it could actually end my career. That was quite scary because I felt like I had just been at the highest point of my career. It was quite hard to take when I'd been in such a good place to be told, actually, this could be the end if you're not smart with this. We initially really focused on why the injury happened, preventing it happening again. We dived into biomechanics, we dived into nutrition, we did psychology work, and actually we did everything so that I wasn't just going to come back a stronger athlete physically and obviously less injury prone, but I was going to come back a stronger, more whole-rounded athlete in every single sense. At that point, I wasn't really able to do much physical training, but I was so motivated there that we were tapping into so many different elements of what it is to be an elite athlete, and I already felt at that point I was going to come back stronger, even though I wasn't even back on a bike or running at that point. A big goal of mine was definitely to try and be back for the Collins Cup.
She's working her way to the finishing line now, and it'll be the winner of the second.
I reached out to the Team Europe captains. I said, you know what, I'm looking really good. I'm feeling ready, like I could be back on the team. And actually then to not get picked, I think, to be honest, it just shoved a rocket up my arse. I was like, I am ready and I want to be back on that start line, proving that you should have picked me. And it just gave me that extra motivation that I needed. And actually, I think we saw that when I was racing in Slovakia the day after the Collins Cup. I was angry and I wanted to prove I deserved to be back there, and I think I did do that.
Well, there was a disappointment, obviously, going to Collins Cup that we were going to have no Lucy Charles-Barkley there. She had been the name of 2021, but then watching what she was able to do, overcoming all those months of injury, having to do all that work on her own, there's nobody around, you wonder if she's going to get back to that level. And then the day after the Collins Cup, racing at the World Championships, she goes there and devastates all of the competition, realizing that Lucy Charles-Barkley is back, is hungry, and the second half of the season, the elite athletes are going to have to worry about her fighting out for the top of the podium.
I am definitely 100% back, baby! A lot of the girls were asking, will you be in Dallas? And at that moment, I didn't know whether that would be enough. I hoped it would be enough to get a wild card pick to go and race. And I guess a lot of them were starting to think, oh God, maybe Lucy will be there, and we need to now factor that into our racing strategy. And it was probably quite obvious that after that performance I wanted to go and race again over that distance. I think the 100k distance does really suit me as an athlete, so yeah, it's pretty cool to be back and racing that distance. I love to train in the heat. I absolutely hate being cold, so I never pick racing in cold climates because I do enjoy the heat. I prefer to race in that environment. I feel like I will incorporate some specific heat work going into that race just to be sure that it's not going to hamper my performance. Quite a long swim with like 2.5k of hard work around threshold, so perfect for the distance we'll swim in Dallas, so like threshold and just above threshold, so yeah, feeling good.
One of the things about Lucy Charles-Barclay having such a great race at the World Championships is that they haven't seen her all season long. So she is really this commodity that no one's quite sure. We know how well she swims. She goes from the gun. She'll change any race that she's in. And so all the women who've had great seasons so far are going to say, there's one athlete that we haven't beaten so far in 2022. That's Lucy Charles-Barclay, and she's going to be in the minds of all those top elite women.
She never goes on a start line to come second. It's not in her nature. She's going there to win, and she's going there to prove that she's back and she wants to be on top of the world again at the end of the year.
Ultimately, it all comes from within, that I just want to win whatever race I'm starting. The women are definitely up in their game, and potentially that's off the back of having these great racing opportunities, more prize money. Everyone wants to be at the forefront of these races, and seeing Ashley Gentle come in from short course and really delivering has been really impressive.
Ashley Gentle will claim the first ever PTO Canadian Open.
Athletes like Chelsea Sodaro, who has been a huge inspiration to all female athletes, to come back from having a child and actually racing like phenomenally well in Edmonton, was really, really inspiring.
Chelsea Sodaro takes the podium.
She can't quite believe it.
Obviously, Paula Findlay has been racing incredibly well as well. So there's just so many athletes performing better than maybe they ever have, and it's really, really exciting for women's sport. Having been at the top of the PTO rankings, that was pretty nice while it lasted. I definitely would love to be back there. I feel like once you're there, you've definitely got the big target on your back. Everyone wants that top spot, but yeah, I'm definitely hungry to be back there. There is nothing more motivating than being written off or being doubted. I feel like I've spent my whole athletic career being doubted. Coming into triathlon, everyone just thought she's just a swimmer. You know what, I can do this and I will be one of the greatest athletes. If people are going to doubt you and write you off, you're going to want to come back and prove them wrong. The only pressure that really comes when I'm racing is from myself. I want to win.
So burn like a wildfire, flow like the river wild, oh, oh, rage in my arms tonight. Don't love me, destroy me. Burn like a wildfire, flow like the river wild, oh, oh, rage in my arms tonight. Don't love me, destroy me.
I really do feel like now I've found my sport. Triathlon is what I was put on this planet to do.
I see Dallas as a really important stage for the American athletes. You know, the sport started in 1978 in America. Its birthplace was the United States. But the rest of the world has started to take this sport and really claim it for their own. The Canadians had the Canadian Open Then you move over to Europe for the Collins Cup, and we saw the domination of the European athletes. Well, now we're back to America, where it all started. And I think the American athletes are going to have to make a statement. They're going to have to look for the podium. They're going to have to be aggressive. They're going to have to take risks. This is where it started, but the world has taken this sport, and if America wants to own it, they're going to have to get the job done when we race back in Dallas.
You can run for a long time, run for a long time, run for a long time. Sooner or later, gotta cut you down. Sooner or later, gotta cut you down.
The PTO 100 still getting well known around the world, but it's standard. It's going to be 2 kilometers of swimming, 80 kilometers of biking, and then 18 kilometers of running, making 100-kilometer total.
Tell that long-tongued liar, tell that midnight rider, tell the rambler, the gambler, the backbiter, tell the God's gonna cut him down, tell the God's gonna cut him down, tell the God's gonna cut him down.
It is a very hot race. And so athletes are going to really have to be prepared. I'm sure they all know that it's well into the 90s, the humidity.
'Cause you can run for a long time.
I think it worries everybody first and foremost. I'll be ready for the heat, both from conditions and the athletes, yeah.
Look, he is in absolute pain. Look at him. Oh, this is awful. No, this is not good. He's in all sorts of trouble.
The heat and humidity really took a factor, and we saw some massive cramping, particularly out onto the run course.
Just training here made me so strong. Like, the conditions here are absolutely brutal. It just makes you a tough athlete.
It's humid today, so they are racing in a lot hotter and more humid conditions than the winter.
Certainly something I'm getting ready for. I put myself in a dark place.
Even though you might be the fittest guy on the day, it's not necessarily going to be the first athlete across the line. So I think this is going to be one of those races where just because you led after the swim and just because you led after the bike doesn't mean you're going to be on the podium at the end of the day.
We did actually watch Edmonton. These women are up in their game, but I'm not in the field, and I have a different kind of element to racing when I'm there. So I did speak to a couple of the women. They said the party's over now. We did enjoy the racing while you weren't here, and we know that time's up now.
One of the exciting things about the Open coming up is that Lucy Charles-Barkley is coming in fresh, motivated, off a World Championship victory, but it's not going to be easy. This is a field of incredible athletes, particularly when you look at the resumes. Taylor Knibb, the woman who absolutely dominated in 2021. USA claims 6. So the real question mark is this the Taylor Knibb of 2021, or is this somebody coming in ill-prepared? Crosses the line in second. Then you look at people like Paula Finley, who we know have had a phenomenal 2022. Look at Ashley Gentle, who's been virtually undefeated. Ashley Gentle towards the finishing line. And then finally, Flora Duffy, who won't be happy with what happened at Collins Cup. We know that she's Olympic Games gold medalist. We know what she can do. She's virtually won at every distance. And I think she'll look at the Collins Cup and say, I really didn't get the job done. That's 5 women, only 3 spots on the podium. Somebody spectacular is going to be missing the podium at the Open.
Nash is the women's side. The men's side is absolutely out of this world.
Lionel Sanders, he loves this distance. He's in great form as he gets ready for the last part of the season. Sam Long.
That's how it's done, baby.
If he wins one race in 2022 that he wants, that is the US Open.
Yeah, Dallas is obviously an opportunity to beat Lionel and Sam. I'm fully aware there's lots of other very good athletes.
Ali Brownlee, just coming off an Ironman win recently, so we know that he's back in great form. Daniel Bekkegaard just came off his win at the Collins Cup. We know that he's a 3-game racer. Then you look at Ditlev. This guy, 24 years of age, he won the huge race in Roth, and he just keeps getting stronger and stronger.
If I have a good result in Dallas, if I could go there and win that race, it definitely cements where I'm at.
This race in Dallas is about redemption. proving to myself that I belong.
With millions of dollars on the line, not just on the race itself, but more importantly, the end of the season rankings, athletes, even if they've had a good start to the season, they're going to have to execute one more time coming into Dallas. And if you're a new athlete who hasn't raced most of the season, you know, somebody like Lucy Charles-Barkley, you're going to move up a lot of points and a lot of dollars with a big race in Dallas. The million-dollar question for me with Sam Laidlow is, which Sam Laidlow are we going to get on the day? Is it the arrogant, confident guy?
Automatic, charismatic, and aquatic. Line was stuck, but why so static?
Or is it the guy who finished the Collins Cup, you know, realizing he was 30 minutes behind the guys that he was given some jaw to?
I've got nothing to prove. I'm just 23-year-old trying to be good. There's other people there, like, I feel like the pressure's on guys like Alistair and Lionel and people who have already had so many results and are expected to win again.
Pressure definitely makes diamonds. The athletes who can perform best under that pressure will reap the biggest rewards and get those major titles.
I think pressure should be a privilege. If you have been put pressure, it means that you've achieved something to be in that position first and foremost. Generally at the moment, the stage where I'm at, it's more pressure that's just coming from myself.
The reward is going to be greater because for the pressure to be high, there has to be something huge at stake.
The question that we keep asking, has Sam Laidlow actually just kept something back? Lucy Charles-Barkley hasn't done any racing this year, unfortunately, to get herself in this team.
I can see you're fading into view. Aside from my soul.
Oh, look, he is in absolute pain. Look at him. Oh, this is awful.
Think I passed out with your photograph.
You can feel great in training, don't really know how your body is going to behave. The body can only take so much.
I feel stronger than I've ever felt. There was a lot of external noise going on around people's opinions, which really got under my skin and made me angry. I am going to prove you wrong. I'm a strong athlete, both physically and mentally, and don't mess with me.
In anybody's career, you can never say that one race is all or nothing, but I think there's a lot on the line here.
There's never been so much at stake, so much on the line.
I definitely need a good race in Dallas to get me that top 10 ranking.
Becoming PTO ranked #1, I feel like it's definitely a tough position to be in, and trying to stay up there is going to be harder than getting there.
You gather me when I'm in pieces. Fetch my soul when I've lost the feeling.
I think one of the things that we've realized so far in this PTO distance is that you can expect the unexpected.
Well, this is the box office that we were really excited for.
And look at her, she's absolutely spent there.
Lionel Sanders puts his foot down, raises that finish line. Look, he's lapping up this round.
What an incredible performance you are watching.
I've ever met an athlete quite like her.
And he says, I am going to take the victory in this matchup. What have you got?
I am definitely 100% back, baby!
I can see you're fading into view.